Everyone hopes that one day their work will be recognized for what they have built or who they have become. But recognition rarely comes by accident. It happens when passion meets consistency. Today's story is a great example of that. We are talking with Gyula Lakatos, who spent years working with massive volumes of data, quietly building deep expertise in large scale data digitalization. He did it so well that it caught the attention of Anthropic, where he was eventually hired as an engineer. Hi, Gyula. Can you tell us about a bit of the Library of Alexandria project? What is that and how did you just come up with it?
Oh, hi everyone. I was pretty bored at the time at the company that I was working at. So I wanted to do something that is fun, challenging, and could contribute to the lives of other people. Hopefully in the future, many people can read the books that I gathered back then. We will see.
So what were the biggest technical challenges when you are about to move like hundreds of terabytes of data? How we can imagine that?
So yeah, Library of Alexandria is a project about gathering documents from the internet. And I tried to hit a petabyte scale eventually, but it was very expensive, like gathering that many HDDs in my house is like quite a challenge, and like just governing them, like creating essays in arrays and stuff like that. But I tried to do my best. What was the biggest challenge? Well, just the sheer amount of data was like really interesting. I had to do like hundreds of millions of requests. And back then, I had only mobile internet, so I was like downloading like 10 terabytes a month over unlimited plan, which was a little bit interesting. I guess like my neighbors not really like me, but whatever. I tried to do it for the common good.
Okay, and how many working hours did you put in this project?
Oh, that's a very good question. As far as I remember, I have like more than 1,000 commits on GitHub for the project. I don't know. It's probably over 1,000 hours at this point. It took me like 5 years to get to the point where the project is at the moment. It's kind of a little bit at the hiatus at the moment because I have little children and my time is limited, but I want to pick it up later on again. And it's actually still running my machines at home.
Tell us a bit about how does it felt like when this hobby project became something bigger, some newsworthy, others recognized it.
Oh, it was a little bit unbelievable, to be honest. Like, it was so surprising to me. I was sitting at my computer posting to Reddit, trying to a little bit advertise my project, sorry, and I got a lot of really good feedback. And then someone just like messaged me over Reddit and told me that they want to do an interview to a radio station. I was like, what the heck? It's probably a scam. So I responded to them, and then it eventually ended up being a real interview with like a radio station in New York, which was like it's one thing that I can cross out from my bucket list, I would say. I never been in the television, but I was in the radio, so I have something to my name at least.
Very good. And that time when Anthropic also just realized that you are there out in the market, how was the reach out from Anthropic, or what was the story behind it?
Yeah, it's a very funny story as well. Like the project has a Discord server, and I was posting there that my contract that I had is going to expire, so I will finally have a lot of time to work on the project. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I can finally develop new features and stuff. And then I got a message that like they really like what I do and want to hire me to the team at Anthropic because they think that I can contribute a lot to their like data gathering efforts there.
Okay, but what do you think? What was the triggering point for them that you are just making some noise around the project, your radio interview, your Reddit post? Where did they hear about you?
That's a good question. I think it was kind of mixed. As far as I know, they heard about me in the radio interview, So probably that's where they found me. But as far as I know, they are very active on the. I was posting to the data hoarder subreddit, and they are very active there as well.
Okay, but I can imagine that there are other projects, or there was other projects as well in this genre. That what was the reason that your project caught their attention?
They needed exactly what I was doing. They needed a lot of documents, and I was collecting documents, and I collected like more than 150 million of them. So probably given enough resource to me, I could gather more. I think that was their reasoning behind actually adding me to the team. And they wanted to they required a lot of text to train AI, and the best thing to train with is like documents. That's like the most like the top quality training material, I would say.
Okay, but were there any interesting or just not that common technical solutions that you provided in this project, or some really fresh ideas?
Yeah, it was. I think it was my knowledge. Like, how can you create a distributed system that is like can download that many documents in a very short time frame? Like they were always like wanted to go faster, and because I was able to get this many this much data, I would probably gather more. I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. So let's talk about what was it like to work at Anthropic?
It was a lot of fun. Working at a startup is a little bit different than working on an established company. So they were always in a hurry. They wanted to get more data, get it quicker, get everything right now, like before training and stuff. So it was a little bit challenging, but it was a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Okay, let's talk about the engineers working at Anthropic. What kind of people are they? What are their mindset, or how we can imagine the engineering culture there?
Oh, they are like very knowledgeable, and I met the most like highest impact individuals at Anthropic. Like I saw people who were like doing, I don't know, a bunch of clicks really fast, and they really know what they were doing. And I was like just sitting at my monitor, sorry, at my laptop, and like just watching like, what's happening? And they were like click, 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 and all was solved. And then move to the next problem in like 10 hours every day. So hats off to all the folks there. They are really working hard, making AI better.
Okay, but let's tell us some juicy stories, some interesting thing, anything surprising at the company that outsiders wouldn't expect.
So for me, the hardest thing to get used to is like just focusing on speed instead of focusing on budgets and money. I'm like a penny pincher. I really try to save everywhere a little bit of money here and there. They were like all about speed. So as long as I didn't spend like way too much, like into the millions, I was like, I got all the things I needed. Like if I requested 10,000 servers, I could get it, as long as I provided the results, of course. It was a very interesting experience, to be honest.
Okay. But that story ended at some point in your career. What was the decision behind it? Why did you separate your ways?
So they asked me very politely to move closer to their HQ. Then they asked me to like either I move closer to their HQ or we should separate ways, which I can absolutely understand. They wanted to have more control over me, which is like being a US company, they being a US company, and me being like working from the EU, especially from the eastern side. I can understand that it is um, like I can understand that I was probably a security risk to some degree and things like that. So, but they were very polite and very helpful. Like they could provide it. I think moving to the US requires a green card, so they could have a visa or something. They could have given that to me. And also they asked me to, if I can move to the US, I should move to Dublin because they have an office there. I rejected both of the offers, unfortunately, because I have two little kids and all of our family is living in Hungary. And I'm pretty sure that the grandmas would be like really angry if we would move to even to Dublin.
Let's talk about again hobby projects. Do you still have hobby projects like the Library of Alexandria running?
Oh yes, yes I do. I always have hobby projects. It's just like very hard to get some time to work on them, but I always do. At the moment, I'm working on a little game that is uses WebSockets to. It's a strategy game where like 120 people can join to one world and like conquer cities, other nations, and just like do battles and stuff like that. There are certain challenges with it as well, because there are always challenges. Like I try to go for the challenging stuff. It's mostly like I want to do the whole game as a monolith, like running on just one server, like hosting maybe 1,000 live games with like 30, 40, 50 players online, which is a challenge in itself. I want to prove a little bit that like monoliths have like still useful, especially when the team that is like building them is small. So I had to build so many distributed applications that it gets a little boring after a while. So yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll see you next time in an e-sport gaming.
Oh, maybe. I don't think I can pull that off again, like pull this off again, but we will see. Maybe if I post it on Reddit.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Reddit is a really good source to just advertise yourself. Okay, but let's talk about these hobby projects. Are there any evolution during the years on these hobby projects? Are there anything that you are doing differently?
Yeah, absolutely. I had like 10 to 15 like failing hobby projects. I'm that guy who just creates a new hobby project every second day or something. So even those like 10 to 15 was like pretty long running projects, like at least half a year. And they were like failing because like I just gave up on them. Like I figured out that like there is something else to do that is probably more interesting and that gives me a higher visibility or reward or just more challenging. So I ended up giving up on all of them, and it took me quite a lot of time to figure out how can I get out of this rat race and like just not give up projects, that like at least not give up all of my projects eventually.
Okay, but what's changed then?
What changed? I figured out that if I get a little bit burnt out from projects, I tend to like just game or watch movies and stuff like that. And then whenever I get enough of, like I get recharged, I need to somehow redirect myself to my previous project instead of like thinking about a new one. So that's like, it was always cyclical. Like I ran out of oomph to do after like 3 months. Then I started just game for like 2 weeks and then figured out that like, yeah, I can do another project, which is like probably more interesting. And yeah, it took me a while to figure out how can I redirect my focus.
Yeah, but when you hit a wall with a project and you say that, okay, you would like to start some new project, how you can channel back your motivation to the original project? Are there any advice in there?
Yeah, just pick up the old project. It's probably, there are usually more challenges to solve there and more interesting bits to finish. It's a little bit more mentally challenging than starting a new one, but whatever, like running an npm install command is like sometimes enough to just like push me back to work on an old project, because like that's already like the bare bones are already set up. So I just like need to add more features, which is like usually more fun than setting up the 20th project or the 15th project.
Okay, and would you give any advice to other developers who are feeling the same way and just have lots of ideas, but struggling to just move forward or finish?
Try their best sticking to one. It will eventually work out if they try hard enough. Maybe not for the first, like maybe not for the next project, but after a while they will probably figure out how they can solve this on their own way to like kind of keep working on the same project. It's something that everyone needs to figure out on their own way, I guess.
I heard that you bought a castle in the countryside in Hungary. What is this project about? How this can match with the development and the software developer inside of you?
It's a totally different project. Like that's what I liked about it. Like sometimes I get enough of like smashing buttons on computers. So then I want to do something that is more physical, but it is challenging at the same time. And like rebuilding a castle is that.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge. It's a really big one and really challenging in that regard that it is like a protected building. It's in the middle of nowhere, kind of. So yeah.
And how is it going, the renovation?
Oh, it's going slowly, as always. Like it's a protected building, so you need to get a lot of permits and everything must be planned. You can't really do anything on your own unless it is documented well and stuff like that. But it is going slowly but surely, that's for sure.
Okay, cool. And if you are looking back on your journey, and it's quite an interesting journey you had professionally and the private project side as well, are there any big revelation when you are seeing your journey?
So whenever someone gets a good opportunity, he or she should like pursue it, because there are only a few in life, but those should be like really followed upon.
Okay, and any other advice that you will give for young engineers who are at the beginning of their career? How should they build themselves?
I suggest to anyone who is like young at the moment and code, like don't listen to people who say that like coding is over, AI will take your place, whatever. Just sit down, find something fun that you can work on and just like keep on coding. If you will get enough mileage, you will be hired and somebody will like check your work and want to work with you if you're good enough. And I think most people who are like enthusiastic about like programming can get there eventually.
Okay, it's a really good ending. So we can say that as a takeaway for today, that hard work and persistence can lead you everywhere, and even at Anthropic.
Yeah, a little bit of luck is required as well, but yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.